few days ago, while I was talking to a close friend of mine, I brought up a question that we discussed for hours. That question was, what is the meaning of life? At some point in the conversation, I said something along the lines of, they say your life is the most important thing. They say that what you do during your life will build your legacy. That every choice you make, every thought you have, every risk you take, and every risk you don't take will matter in the long run. But the reality is, your life doesn't matter. You are just simply alive on a planet that will surely end, sharing air with a bunch of nobodies just like you. Yeah, you might be remembered, but how long until you're forgotten just like everybody else? You see, in the end, everything falls victim to time, and there will come a time when our consciousness is engulfed into an abyss of nothingness. That thought lingered in my mind for days after that. Was my interpretation of life similar or different to other people? So I started watching videos, reading and listening to music in order to better understand what I said, and I found myself lost in my own thoughts. So I wanted to share what I gathered and tell you guys what the true meaning of life is. We begin to grapple with the question of the meaning of life during our teenage years. It makes sense because around the time we are preparing to go into the real world and live life for real. During this life you will be tested, challenged both physically and emotionally. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why can bear any how." Why do we do meaningful things? In order to answer that, we must first figure out what meaning is. Meaning is a relationship between two sorts of things. Signs of the kind of things they intend, express, or signify. So why do we do meaningful things? Because life is full of suffering. It seems like there are days that life will just do anything in its power to bring you down and make you feel like nothing, and that creates a problem. We begin to question if life even has a meaning, and well, is there? We as people need virtue to prevent our life into becoming a living hell. It would be bad enough that you are going to suffer, and probably suffering right now in some way, but knowing that you are contributing to that suffering is hell. And the thing people tend to realize in moments of hell is that they've wasted so much time. They wasted time on when life was normal. We not only realize that we wasted a whole lot of time, we also realize that we spent that time caring about the wrong things. We spent too much time worrying about work, school, money, etc., and we did not focus enough of our attention to what really mattered. But if you really start to think about it, to us the universe is unbelievably old. But in the time span of the universe, it's like if nothing has happened at all. The universe seems to have just started. 385,000 babies are born every day. Out of those babies, some will change the world as we know it, innovate it, and make it stunning and beautiful and fill it full of their ideas. And most of us are just going to die. Billions of years on a multi-trillion year timescale comes out to the smallest of fractions. Not to mention that the universe is expanding, and at the end of the universe will be a cold wasteland overflowing with darkness. And even then, the universe is just beginning. Every day we matter less and less and less until we don't matter at all. The truth is, we have zero idea what the future holds for us, and the most random of events can drastically change our future, just like that. So realistically, no matter what we do, what we accomplish, what we fail at, no matter how much the human race advances and grows, in the end, it truly doesn't even matter. So that's it, right? The meaning of life is nothing matters. So no matter what we do, it's pointless, right? But then I started thinking, surely we need a reason to wake up and get out of bed on a terrible day. We need to chase something to give us purpose. We need to do difficult things. We are constantly pushing up a hill of suffering. And well, does that give us purpose? If you have a problem, well then, ask yourself, well, what's the problem? We can think of even the smallest of steps to start addressing that problem. We must come up with and implement the best plan in order to overcome this barrier in our lives. Even if it's not the right plan, it doesn't matter. The beauty of the human race is that we learn from our mistakes, some longer than others, but eventually we do learn. And then the next plan will be better. Now, I'm not saying plan ahead for future barriers, because if we plan for what's ahead instead of what lies in front of us now, Then that barrier you're anticipating will never arrive. We age way faster than we think. Time keeps ticking and it never stops. It never waits for you. So if we are constantly failing and failing hard, well then in turn we are constantly learning. So go out there and fail then fail again. Then you'll learn why you fail and you won't have to fail again. Now let's talk about the past and about the future. However much we believe we need to plan for the future and anticipate it, the reality is that your life is now. The past is simply a memory, a thought arising in the present moment, and the same can be said about the future, just that the future is not a memory, but it is also a thought arising in the present moment. We spend most of our lives forgetting this truth, fleeing it, overlooking it, and we succeed at it, and that's horrifying. We never truly connect ourselves with the present moment, with the now, because we continuously plan and hope to become happy in the future. The most important question we can ask ourselves is, how can we make a life that can fulfill us? How can we create lives that are truly worth living, given that our life will end? Our minds are all we've got. They've all we've ever had. If we are constantly ruminating about what we just did, what we should have done, what we would have done if we only had the chance, we will miss our lives. We will fail to have connection with it and fail to connect with other people. You would be held hostage by the thoughts that come into consciousness. We are constantly creating culture, forming relationships. We are creating and repairing a world our minds want to be in. So aim at something and progress towards it. Be willing to change your aim, because what the hell do you know? But if you aim at something, at least you're oriented. And then next time you find yourself wondering about the meaning of life, just remember, you're not living in the future, and your life isn't in the past. You are living right now.